Hello, I am Mike of Neil of Dice, and we're back in Gnomoria, which I seem to have paused for some reason. Let us unpause. This has been going on for quite some time now, so I thought I'd let you find out what's going on. It is year 6. Good lord, year 6. Population, what's my population? 25. 71 dead gnomes. That's a lot of dead gnomes. Most of my crew are soldiers. Soldiers actually, when they're off duty, do other things. So they kind of double as general labourers and woodcutters and things. Not much has changed around here. I've expanded this area. I now have this upper gallery here, which is where my crossbow squad hang out. I have just recently, as I moved down the Z levels, so this is the main training area where my main crew train, and they're all in bronze now, which is pretty sweet. I may possibly be able to get an iron breastplate soon. But I've made this kind of twisty-turny path, which beasties have to get to in order to get into the fortress proper. And that the intention is that means that these guys can rain down unpleasantness on incoming bad guys. There's also these dots here are spike traps, which is also designed to cause unpleasantness. The problem with this is at the minute these guys will cheerfully rush out and fight anything that starts to come down here. So it's not really that effective at the minute. What I would like is for these guys to stay exactly where they are and not move until the bad guys actually get off this ramp and start fighting. I don't know if there's a way of doing this. I think these guys are always going to leap towards any goblins that they see. So I might want to move their training area back the way and even round a corner. Maybe even back to where I had the training area originally, which is around here. So they actually train here. These guys, and so they would be down as don't listen to attack orders, don't there's a bunch of different ways of doing this, but basically so they don't attack, they don't go and help other gnomes, which means they don't react to other gnomes saying, I saw a goblin, there's a goblin! Whereas these guys will immediately start, attacking any goblins that they see and any goblins that are pointed out and stuff like that. And yeah, so these guys would be back here and not do anything until they actually get past this point, at which point I would change their designation and make them come and fight. And there's a bunch of different ways of doing this in the military menu, because you can do it in formation. So each squad, so the squad who are training are the Sounding Bees. So this is them. And they're in a basic formation. So I go to formations. I look up basic. They have a perk which is increased weapon damage for each member with a melee weapon. And these are the positions that are available. So we go back to squads. And I go back to the Sounding Bee. So this is I suspect I haven't actually done this. Each formation I've made has all been one type. So this basic soldier, basic soldier, basic soldier. So what I could do now under formations, you have the option perform attack orders. That's over here in the enemies thing. Oh, there's a skeleton apparently. Oh, okay, didn't know that. There's a skeleton apparently. Oh, I don't think I can get to him. Oh, he's in the caverns, but he's been spotted somehow. I'm fairly, there isn't a way of getting to him, so that's irrelevant. Let's go back up to. There we go. Go back here. Yeah. Anyway, so well, actually, I can use that enemies. So that's where attack orders get issued. So I just tell everyone, no one's going to go for that skeleton because no one can get to it. So I'm going to turn off attack orders. But if there are any other beasties, I could turn that on and make them go and attack it. But under formations, under basic, they currently don't do that. It's not helped. But that's a place where I can set that. So I could have them under. Maybe I could even make a training formation where they do training stuff, and they'll perform attack order. And I can then, when an enemy turns up and gets past here, actually perform attack orders, and defend gnomes. Actually, what I probably want to do is avoid enemies. Set them to avoid enemies, and then change that when I actually do want them to attack. I can also do it, I believe, under the position thing here, where this is where you set things like the basic soldier has a guard thing, which is in blocked. I've chosen guard, which has increased block chance and block rate. There are other options I could have gone for. Lots of weird ones. I also set the uniform here, which is what they wear. But I could do things like maintain distance. I could turn off pursue lost targets. If line of sight with targets lost, move to last known position. I could turn that off for basic soldier. And stuff like that. Maintain distance, retreated bleeding. What I'm thinking, what I could do is I could make a training position and a training formation. And the training positions and training formations, they don't fight, they avoid, they run away for any excuse at all, they just run away. And then when I want them to fight, I could change the squads, when I go into squads, and then I change the formation type, so they'll go from training to basic, and then they'll go and fight things. But I need to have a sit down and really think about what I'm trying to do here. Not that I'm always sitting down, but I need to have a think about it. But this is working reasonably well. Goblins just get mangled, which is entirely hilarious. My problem at the minute, the thing that causes me problems are mants. Mants, they apparently are to do with the amount of food and drink you've got. Over a certain amount, they get grumpy. They start to attack you. And every time they attack goblins, even if they've got ogres with them now, they just die. Right? I can't remember the last time I lost someone to a goblin assault. But mants are really dangerous. They kill people all the time. They always kill at least one person. Which is a little aggravating, actually. So I'm hoping between the twisty-turny path and the archers being up there, that between them that will even slow down mants. I haven't had mants since I put this together, so I don't know. The big problem is still these guys will run and grab them, and I'm not quite sure how to. That's the thing I need to fix. I've also put a hospital and a bandage repository here. Yep, 31 bandages. Bandages are amazing. You're bleeding to death. You get, and then you kind of die. Bandage fixed. No longer bleeding. Oh, are you unconscious? No, you're emergent, so you're just sleeping. They're not. This person is not actually used in the hospital. Beds 0 out of 4 being used. They're just sleeping on it because it's a bed, which is really bad behaviour. I should probably put together a dormitory or make quarters for these guys, but as it happens, they don't. Merchants come and go, so it's not that useful to make up quarters for them. I have quarters for my ambassadors. Where are we? There we go. These big rooms here, these are my ambassador quarters, and they're each worth a fair amount of money because the ambassadors insist on it. The ambassadors are in here in the dark because I haven't put lights in this room, but they seem to be happy about this. So this is my expensive Great Hall. Yeah, so she's happy. Doesn't require anything. You start off, they need a room, and then they need the room to be a certain amount. This is my expensive Great Hall because the floor is made of metal. It's actually made of malachite. So the whole Great Hall is worth 5,877, which is doubled for the purposes of deciding whether or not gnomes want to come visit you, which is nice. What I've been up to, I've also, if you may have noticed, I've expanded the stairs from 2 wide to 3 wide, which is actually because of a mining strategy, which is best off illustrated, I think, here. Yeah. Basically, you make these squares, which are 11 by 11, which means that it's containing a 9 by 9 block of unmined material. And you put a torch at every intersection, right? And what the idea, I mean, what this means is, if you find anything in there, because there's almost no clump that won't show up in this kind of on the edges. What you then do is what I've done here. This is not the best. Where's that? A really good example where I'd done. There we go. So I've got the grid going mostly, right? And I've got a few places where I've mined out already. But there was stuff in here that I wanted, so I just mined out that whole 9 by 9. And these lights will absolutely light up the whole place. And I really need to put a light down there. That is a light I should have put down ages ago. Ooh. Which just goes to show that I'm actually slightly overdoing the lights. But the idea is that this will enable me to see all the ores and all the stuff as I dig out the whole level like this, whole layer like this. I will be able to expose all the stuff I want, all the coal and all the ores and all that kind of stuff, without at any point having lots of dark corridors like this one, where monsters can spawn and then eat my face. Well, my gnome's face. They're not going to eat my face. Now, the thing is, you're really supposed to do this for a level that you've only just got to, as opposed to a level that we've already been mining. So I've got all these corridors and bits I've cut out, and the option is either to go through and put torches down, but because of all the corners and stuff, you have to put down a lot of torches because the light does not shine around corners, which is entirely reasonable. And so you end up, if I hit the T key, which I've assigned to show darkness, these are all areas where monsters can spawn, which is potentially very bad for me. So what I've actually been doing is I have been filling in all the old workings that I've done. Some of the workings, I have to admit, some of these things I've mined them out because there's a cheat you can do. Well, is it really a cheat if it's a thing you can do? If I go to dig stairs down, and I'll go down to this level to demonstrate this. If there's any place where you get a red marker when you're trying to dig down, right? So that's telling me there is an ore, there is something here. So I could, in theory, just dig. What I was doing up here was just digging tunnels to the various things that I'd found that way. I have come to the conclusion that that is bad and naughty, and that's not how I should be playing. A honey badger has been spotted. Hello, honey badger. I don't care about you. I have discovered, incidentally, that my bronze encased people can murder bears. I actually have a fair amount of bear leather, which is neat. How much bear leather I've got at the minute? 41. You probably make an I'm making a full set of bear leather. I've actually got a couple of sets of ogre leather out there on people, which is neat. I think I'm trying to work out whether I've got enough bronze already. The way I'm doing it is this is my weapons and armor stockpile. So I'm kind of assuming that everything has gotten put there, and if there's, for example, there are 2 bronze swords here, and that tells me that everyone who wants a sword has got a sword, and everyone who wants a bronze sword has got a bronze sword. Same with the hand axes, because there's a bronze hand axe here. Battle axes, they're the 2-handed ones, and I'm not using those, so I'm ignoring those. 5 helmets, 4 cop helmets, and 1 bronze helmet. Obviously, I had cop helmets. I moved up to bronze, and then they put all their bronze helmets away, put their copper helmets away, and took the bronze helmets. I should sell the cop helmets at some point. Don't know what's going on with gauntlets, because gauntlets comes in pairs. I don't know why I've got 3 gauntlets. A yak leather helm, so that probably means everyone who wants a leather helm has got a leather helm. Ideally, I want everyone to have ogre leather helms, because everyone who wants, that's the best leather. But not enough. Ogres haven't been appearing. Goblins have been appearing, but not ogres. It's really annoying. Again, I've got 1 bracer. Braces comes in pairs. That shouldn't happen. A couple of crossbows and quota. So yeah, that's all going on. I've forgotten what I was talking about. Yeah, I've been filling in all my old workings gradually. I found the wall building algorithm is actually reasonably good. If you fill in an area and say build that, it's generally pretty good at making, like if you compare it to, for example, Dwarf Fortress, where if there is a way of a dwarf building itself into a corridor, into, if a dwarf in Dwarf Fortress can wall itself in, it will wall itself in. Whereas you notice that the one that's gone green is the furthest one away, which is quite good. So I haven't finished this process yet. It's an ongoing process. Skelly wobbles appear. I'm not worried about skelly wobbles. I have discovered, however, that zombies are a pain in the buttocks, because zombies can infect your gnomes. Well, I don't know why I'm picking this gnome. Oh, yes, there you go. Oh, brilliant. This actually shows up a couple of things. But the bottom line is, Jaffizingleby is infected with the zombie virus. At some point, he's fought a zombie, got bitten, and is now infected with the zombie virus, which means when he dies, he will rise as a zombie, and that's really aggravating. But the other cool thing is he's actually got a prosthetic right leg and right foot. So I can make prosthetic limbs now because my tinkering. Have we invented everything? I honestly don't know. We invented lots of things, up to and including steam power and blunderbusses. But automatons. But you need a golem core. So I might have to work out how to make golems. So I think I've tinkered. I think I've made everything that can be invented. Everything can be invented. So things have, as you can see, things have been moving along. Stuff's been going on. I'm doing a fairly. I'm trying to do a fairly ordered and efficient mining method for the next few levels. Hopefully when I start the next level, which is down here, which has nothing in it, I will just do this. I will just do this grid, and I won't have to fill up everything. But at the moment, I'm undoing some bad things, some bad habits that I did before. I'm moving on down so I can get more and more and more ore. So that's what I've been up to in Gnomoria, and also a few more menus which you may not have seen, and some thoughts about things like military and stuff. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you're enjoying this video. Hit like and subscribe if so. Find Nearly Enough Dice at nearlyenoughdice.com. We're also on Facebook and Twitter, and there will be links in the video description. And until next time, be good to your gnomes.